General Motors held its virtual shareholder meeting yesterday amid a difficult 2020. Closed plants because of coronavirus, the crisis of racial inequality in our cities and our workplaces. But there are some green shoots here, too. Increased transparency and corporate responsibility, and maybe a little bit of consumer pent-up demand as well. Mary Barra is the chairman and CEO of General Motors, and she joins us this morning from the GM Tech Center in Michigan. And Mary, it's really good to see you. Thank you for being here.
Well, it's great to be with you today, too, Becky. Thank you.
Let's talk a little bit about the year you have seen so far. Leading up to the shareholder meeting, you said that this was a tragic year. Can you kind of walk through what you've learned, what you've seen, what GM has experienced this year?
Well, when you think about first the pandemic, it started with our operations in China and has moved through the entire world. So we've been experiencing that and trying to make sure that we do everything we can to keep our people safe. As we look at this, we want to make sure we protect lives, then livelihoods. And so we've been applying learnings from across the globe to make sure that we can do just that. And so as you look at that, which has had a tremendous impact on our business, as it has many businesses across the globe. And then with the incidents dealing with social inequity and racial inequity, clearly that has been hanging and very heavy on all of our hearts. So those are serious issues that we need to look at from a business perspective, but also doing what's right and making sure that we create an environment to be inclusive for everyone. So we have a lot of work that we've outlined, and we're very committed to taking action, not just talking about why things are happening, but what are we going to do to be part of the change.
I definitely want to talk more about the justice and equality measures in just a moment. But before we get to that, let's talk about some of the things that you mentioned yesterday at the shareholders meeting and leading up to that. You had said that by the end of this month, you're really hoping to get GM production levels back to the pre-COVID levels. That's a tall order considering what you all have been doing in terms of having to handle the shutdowns and then shift to making some of that personal protective equipment that people have been using for the COVID response too. Where are you on that track? And you think that is a goal that you're likely to hit?
Yes, I have been in 8 of our plants in the United States over the last few weeks. Plan to visit more. I'll be in another one of our facilities tomorrow. So the return to work has been going pretty well. We took the time to really train everybody on what our safety protocols are and why they're so important, but then very importantly, listen to everybody's concerns and questions. And I think that has allowed us to make sure people return with the protocols that, with all the work we've done, we believe are safe, but also to give them confidence in the safety. So that has been very, very important. We have well over 90% of our team in the United States back in most of North America. And so we believe we're on track for virtually every one of our facilities to be back to the levels they were producing prior to the impact of COVID in this country. We are also back as it relates to China, Korea, and other locations around the world. South America is coming back up. It's a little slower because they're at a different point in the curve as it relates to the coronavirus.
Does that create any problems just in terms of your supply chain, particularly looking at some of the situations in Mexico that we had seen earlier, too? Have you had issues trying to make sure you can get everything you need to make these cars?
We're working through them. We have a complex global supply chain, so there's always challenges. We're working very closely with local and federal governments in many countries, as well as our suppliers. And, we're on a good path. We'll continue to work through any challenges that we have, but I think that we can successfully work through those as we progress through the end of the month and then continue on into third quarter.
There have been a lot of questions about consumer demand, and I know there are issues as people worry about their jobs, worry about what's going to happen next. But then there are probably potentially other buyers who had been out of the market or maybe never bought a car before who think, wait a second, I need a car, I need my own transportation now because I trust public transportation less. What are you starting to see as some of the car dealers actually reopen around the country?
Well, we've been pleasantly surprised that how demand has come back, and even stayed. It didn't drop as low as it had in other countries in the United States, even during the height of the peak from an impact perspective. So we're cautiously optimistic. We do see people very interested in completing much of the transaction online using our Shop, Click, Drive tool. We also have many of our dealers, virtually all of them, that have signed up for kind of a clean certification and a contactless delivery, and I think that is giving consumers confidence as well. So I think it's too soon to tell, but we're cautiously optimistic as we see demand resuming.
Where is demand coming up? Is there pent-up demand, or are people looking to buy trucks? Are they looking to buy cars? What have you seen from the consumer?
We've seen strength in trucks, and because of the strength of our truck franchise and the fact that we just have been, over the last year and a half, launching all new full-size trucks, both light-duty and heavy-duty. We're right now also launching our full-size SUV, the Chevrolet Suburban, and Tahoe, the GMC Yukon, and then the Cadillac Escalade. We're very encouraged by the fact that demand for full-size trucks and SUVs has been very strong, and now we're starting to see mid crossovers and SUV demand also increase.